Hi, I'm Russ Perry from SmithGroupJJR. I am an architect and not a scientist, so you'll have to forgive me that. When we make choices about building materials, my colleague Greg Mella likes to describe it as if we're trying to make healthy choices, it's like going to the grocery store and shopping around the perimeter, where you go in and you go to the fruits and vegetables, maybe you hit the dairy, the chicken, the fish, you get around to the bakery on the way out, and you skip all that stuff in the middle, the really scary stuff with all of the ingredients that you don't know what they are. Well, when we're selecting building materials, if we want to have anything with polymers, adhesives, solvents, coatings, flame retardants, etc., we got to venture into all those aisles in the middle where we don't know what the hell this stuff is. So when we get into the aisle in the middle, we don't at the moment have the benefit of what was just referred to, the nutrition labels. 2 nutrition labels for peanut butter that we find in those center aisles, one of which has the ingredients of peanuts and salt, and the other has, oh my God, what is all that stuff? Well, this is what the material ingredients transparency movement is about, trying to get that information out and publicly available so we can begin to look at it and make our decisions. And I suspect that most of us, given the same level of performance of 2 building materials, one with the ingredients that says peanuts and salt, and the other that says, oh my God, what is all this stuff, will probably select peanuts and salt. Well, that's what the Health Product Declaration Collaborative is doing through the Health Product Declaration. We have a standardized format for the conversation between manufacturers and design professionals over what the ingredients are within products. And then those ingredients, when they're identified, are automatically through the software screened against a series of hazard lists so that some of these endpoints are made visible, and we can see where the endocrine disruptors, carcinogens, etc. are. Now, this is a relatively new process that we started just at this time of year in 2010. We had the launch in this time of year again in 2012, and immediately after that, a series of architecture and design practices started sending letters to the industry saying, if you'd like us to continue to consider your products, you need to tell us what is in them. That should be a fundamental part of our conversation. And this series of letters has substantially changed the nature of the dialogue. The other thing that's changed the nature of the dialogue is the engagement of a whole lot of manufacturers who have joined with us in the Manufacturers Advisory Panel to help to develop from the stumbling, crawling, maybe first steps of version 1 to version 2, which is coming out in the next couple of weeks. That transition has been the engagement of manufacturers who've said, okay, we get that you're looking for this information. Here's how we can go about structuring it in a way that meets our business realities without compromising the idea of material ingredient transparency, don't get me wrong. So the version that's coming out gives you a chance, manufacturer, to say what at what level is the inventory taking place, and we're looking for and preferring 1,000 part per million, a description of the methodology for looking at residuals, and then how is this being characterized? Is it being characterized simply for the hazard, which is a way of maintaining some of the proprietary information, or is it a full disclosure of all of the ingredients? And then we have a summary at the front that outlines all of the different ingredients and what hazard endpoints get flagged when those ingredients are sent through the hazard screening. Then there is a piece by piece of all of the components of this material, including then all the constituent chemicals, and then a detailed assessment of all of the different hazard endpoints. This is a level of information that is way beyond most of the architects that I know, but starts to get into a level of information that will have value for a lot of the building scientists and the toxicologists and so forth who are in this room. This will be very valuable information going forward. We are getting a lot of traction right now. This is this year, looking at the data. We now have in the HPD Builder, which is the online software, we have 1,300 users. That's almost 1,000 companies. 150 of those companies have published HPDs. That group of people has published almost 900 HPDs within the last year. And there are about 2,000 that are in draft phase right now that we can see. We can't actually see the data, but we can see that it's being processed through the software. And then most importantly, in terms of getting back to the big data question, we are working on an API where this information flows into different assessment tools like Cradle to Cradle. We have an MOU with Cradle to Cradle and are harmonized. It will flow directly into the materials assessment process that's going on at Google. It will flow into the BIFMA Levels program, which is about looking at building material, furniture. So there are many different places where this information can go once it is in a standardized format. And so we are doing that right now. So my question, and this is the question, Paul, that we were talking about earlier, now that we know what's in it, what do we do with this information? Thank you.